Okay, this one can be confusing, I'm not going to lie. First off, let's do a little trip down memory lane. Let's find the product of that. So I take 1x and I distribute 1x to 1x, 1x to negative 2. Then I take negative 6 to the same two terms. Now figure your products. So 1 times 1 is 1, x times x is x to the second. 1x times negative 2 is negative 2x, negative 6x, and positive 12. So we combine those add to negative 8x. So when I slot my x's, it's x to the second, plus slot x plus constant. So the x second is just the 1. Then I take negative 6 plus negative 2, that's negative 8, and then 12. Now the question is, what we have to do today is get from here back to here, into the P1, P2. There's a technique, and it does require practice and repetition. Okay, that's what factor the expression means. It means you need to rewrite that into a 2 parentheses, a P1 and a P2. Now, I need to find what the sign is, okay? What goes before the symbols, each of them, and what goes after. Now, keep in mind that on this part, we have negative 6, negative 12. Negative 6 times negative 12, negative 6 times negative 2 multiplied to 12, okay? So we're going to find what actually goes in these last two, this and this first, okay? And the signs as well. Okay, so here's what I do. Now, we are not going to be doing the GCF here, and I'm going to explain why. You put a 1 in front of it. So when I look at my last term, I don't see a letter, so I can't put that. I don't see a negative, so I can't put that. And then if I look up the numbers 1, 11, and 18, they all three have to be in the same row. And the only row that happens in is 1. 1, 11, 18. Guys, if you get a GCF of 1, don't do it. Okay, so don't do if you get a GCF of 1. So how am I going to, what's the next step I have to take? Well, you're going to make this table, okay? And then what I do on the table is I take A, B, C. You're always going to label them A, B, C. You take the A times the C. So in this problem, we would be taking 1 times positive 1 times positive 18. And that's positive 18. So you times those. So these two things I find here have, not only do they have to multiply to positive 18, and they also have to add to negative 11, okay? Now, we have a positive up here. Whenever we have a positive there, the signs will match. So the signs I put in those parentheses, positive, negative, those will match, okay? And they have to add to whatever the B is, which is positive 11, okay? Now you're like, how do we do that? Well, here's how. We put a division sign after the 18. Now, first we want to place the signs. If they have to add to positive, the signs match and they'll both be positive. Okay. Now I start finding factors of 18. They have to add to 11 though. So I take 18 divided by 1. Write down the number you divided by and the answer you got. But that doesn't add to positive 11, so cross it out. Now put positive, positive again. And what number comes after, what integer comes after 1? 2. So put the number you divided by, the number you got. Now add those. Do they add up to positive 11? I think they do, okay? So I put a plus 2 and a plus 9. That's the hard part. Now the easy part is finding what goes before. This times this have to multiply to the A term. So you got 1. The only thing that could multiply to 1 is 1 times 1. X to the second, the only way that could multiply is if it's x times x. And that's the answer. Now I'm going to prove to you why it's the answer. Okay? You can check your answer. A lot of people, nobody does it almost, but here's how this could be checked. So I'll take 1x plus 2 times 1x plus 9. And I'll multiply it out, and if it's back to here, I did it right. So I take 1x to 1x, 1x to 9. Then 2 to 1x, 2 to 9. One times 1 is 1, x times x, x second, then 9x, 2x, and 18. Okay? So if I slot them, it's 1x to the second. Combine those, that makes 11, and then 18. And that is exactly what we started with, so that is right. One thing in your final answers, they really don't want ones in front of the x. If you end up with a 1, you kind of just get rid of it. So it's x plus 2 times x plus 9. I want to change an x problem. I want to switch that from a positive to a negative 3. You don't do that on your own, but I'm just going to. Okay? So I got to get my P1 and my P2. Takes a bit of practice to get the hang of this. Okay, so I have to factor. These are the terms I have. GCF, greatest common factor. No variable, so don't put it. No negative. 1, 3, and 2. 1, 3. Whenever 1, 2, and 3, it's just in the first row, so it'd be stupid to do. So now I go make my table. Okay, and you go A, B, C. Now take your A times your C. 1 times 2 is 2, positive 2. So again, the signs have to match. That means we need them both positive or both negative. What you're adding to tells you. So you're adding to negative 3. So now the signs still match, but they're both going to be negative. Now, start dividing. So 2 divided by 1 is 2. So I put the number I divided by and the answer I got. Pretty sure if you add negative 1 plus, now add them, see if they add up to negative 3. Aha, they do. So that's what I'm rolling with. So I put minus 1, minus 2. Now, because those two have to multiply to the C. Now these two have to multiply to the A. Well, the A is easy to do, okay? You know, it's 1x a second, so it's going to be 1, 1. And then x a second is x, x. There you have it. Take the 1s off your x's. They really don't want those in front. Okay, x minus 1 times x minus 2. Okay, I'm going to switch that to a minus. So a to the second minus 7a plus 10. So I got to put it into a P1, P2. Okay. All right, so GCF, we do not have that variable on the last term. We don't have a negative on the first term, okay, in front. And then 1, 7, and 10 is just 1. Whenever 1's one of the numbers you would be looking up, it's just going to be 1. That's automatic. Okay, A, B, C. Even though A is a variable, I'll still use A, B, C. So I take 1 times 10. That's 10. It is positive 10 again. So the signs need to match, okay? Because this times this has to equal positive 10. The only way that happens is if the signs match. But how do they match? Would it be plus, plus, or negative, negative? Well, we're adding to negative 7, so whatever I'm adding to, they would have to match as negatives. Okay, so start dividing. 10 divided by 1, so I put the number I divided by and the answer I got. Now that has to add to negative 7, which I take negative 1 plus negative 10. Nope, doesn't work. So put the signs down again. Now divide 10 by 2. Number you divided by, answer you got. 2, 5. Now let's take negative 2 plus negative 5. Booyah, negative 7, just like I need. Okay, so I know what goes here. A minus 2, a minus 5. Now in the middle, or on the front side of things, okay, you got 1. 1's easy. It's just, we know that only way that happens is 1 times 1, and a to the second would be a times a. Okay, that's your answer. Take the 1's off the front of your letters, though, so it's just a minus 2 times a minus 5. Okay, next one. capital T to the second plus 9t plus 14. I want to keep that the same. Okay, so put it into a P1, P2. 1 helps if you underline so you know what you're looking at. Last term, no letter there. First term, no negative there. 1, 9, and 14 is 1, so we're not going to do it. Okay, then I make my table. Remember, you take the A times the C. Trust me, you're going to want to get in the habit of that. 1 times 14 is 14, positive. Okay, so again, the signs need to match. Getting a positive when I take A times C means the signs will need to match. There's rules you got to know. And when we add the factors to decide where to stop, we need to add to positive 9, okay? So if the signs have to match and they have to add to a positive, then they'll be positive, positive. Now start dividing. 14 divided by 1 is 14, so 1, 14. 1 plus 14 is not 9, okay? Hate to tell you. We know the signs, so put them. 14 divided by 2 is 7, so 2 and 7. You put the number you divided by, answer you got. Now add 2 and 7. It's 9, so stop, we found it. So plus 2 plus 7. Now this and this, you look at your A term. A is 1, and then T to the second would just be T, T. Get rid of the 1s, you don't need those, okay? If it's a 1, we're going to come across some later where there's not a 1. Okay, now we're not solving the equation. Get this equals 0 out of here. I want to keep factoring, okay? Now this requires patience too. So, P1, P2. 1y to the second, 17y, and 72. The GCF again is just 1. Okay, trust me, on this assignment it's always 1, so we're not doing it. Now, remember what I said, this requires patience on your part. 1 times 72 is 72, positive again, so the signs will match. So either negative, negative, or positive, positive. And they have to add to positive 17, the middle. So you start dividing. So if they have to add to positive, they match as positive, positive, okay? 72 divided by 1, 72. Okay, I don't think that adds to 17. You can check. Nope, it doesn't. Positive, positive. 72 divided by 2 is 36. That's 38. Nope. Keep going. 72 divided by 3 is 24. 27, we're getting closer to 17. And if you run out of room, just bring them over here. 4 and 18. 4 plus 18 is 22. No. Now, 72 divided by 5 is a decimal. If it's a decimal, you don't even put it on your table, okay? You know it's not it. Now, after 5 comes 6. If you get a decimal, you shouldn't even put it on the table. 6 and 12. Now, 6 plus 12, don't just say close enough. That's 18. It doesn't work. It's got to be dead on the money. Positive, positive. Okay, after 6 comes 7. If you divide and get a decimal, you don't even put it on the table. After 7 comes 8. 8 and 9. How about that? What's 8 plus 9? Ooh, 17. Bingo. So we found it, finally. So plus 8, plus 9, and then this times this has to equal your A. So 1y to the second. So it's 1 can only be 1 times 1, and the y to the second would just be y times y. So that one we had to work a little bit for. Y plus 9 times y plus 8 times y plus 9. Okay, next one. W to the second minus 13w plus 42. P1, P2. All right, GCF's 1, okay. Then now you go to your table. GCF of 1 means we don't need to do the GCF, okay. Now 1 times 42 is 42. Once again, a positive on top, because it's positive 42, then the signs need to match, okay. So they match, and they also have to add to negative 13. That tells me they match as negative, okay. So now we start dividing. Stop when you get two factors that add to positive 13, to negative 13. So 1 and 42. Nope. Two and 21. Set up the signs, okay? Nope. Okay, 3 and 17, 3 and 14, excuse me. Divide it, put the number you divided by, answer you got. Negative 17, can't. Decimal. Decimal. Okay, 6 and 7. What's negative 6 plus negative 7? Aha, negative 13, found it, okay, boom. So I put minus 6, minus 7, because that these two multiply to your C, these two multiply by the A, but it's easy to see what that would be, because 1 would be 1 times 1, W to the second would be W, W, okay. Take the 1's off, please. Okay, next one, x to the second power plus 11x plus 24. So you're putting it into the P1, P2. GCF, okay. GCF, and that one's going to be just 1, okay. Because you don't have a letter, you don't have the negative, 1, 11, 24 is just 1. So 1 times 24 is 24, positive, okay. So signs match. Anytime we get a positive, sign's going to match on all this packet. Add to positive 11, because that's what you have there. So they have to match positive, positive then. So start dividing. So 24 divided by. So 24 divided by 1 is 24. So I put the number I divided by and the answer I got. But that does not add to 11. It's 25. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 14, nope. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Got it. 3 plus 8 is 11. Okay. So plus 3 plus 8. So that times that's positive 24, and they add to 11. Now the A is easy to break down, at least now it is. X, X. Okay. So it'd be X plus 3 times X plus 8. Okay, next one. X to the second power minus 4x plus 3. GCF again is 1. So again, you're putting it into the P1, P2. All right, so let's see what we can put in there. A times C, that's 3, it's positive, so again the signs match, or you can just write match. And they have to, since they have to add to negative 4, they would match as negative, negative. Okay? We don't have to go very far on this. 3 divided by 1 is 3. Negative 1 plus negative 3 is negative 4. Exactly. So minus 1 minus 3, we have it right there. Then 1x to the second. 1 is just 1 times 1. X to the second is x times x. So x minus 1, x minus 3. Okay, next last one, t to the second power minus 8t plus 12. Okay, so P1, P2. Find the second two. That's the hard work. The first part's easy. Okay. GCF's 1, so that's why I'm not doing it. Okay, so 1 times 12 is 12, positive 12. So again, the signs match, and they have to add to negative 8. So if they match, they'll have to match as negative, because negative times a negative equals a positive, but then they would add to the negative. Okay, so 1, 12. Because 12 divided by 1 is 12, but if you add a negative 1 to a negative 12, that is not negative 8. That's the wrong number. Then divide by 2. Just take 12 divided by 2. 2, 6. Got it, because negative 2 plus negative 6 is negative 8. So we put a minus 2 and a minus 6. And the A, easy, it's just 1, 1. And then T, T. And then you can clear your 1s. T minus 2 times T minus 6.